Actually, you still ain't send me the recording of that exit.
Oh,
Oh, well, I don't have the Leon block.
Nah, send it to my DM.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to air. I just want to check it out.
no, yeah, he just.
Just
Oh, somebody just went live in Minneapolis. I don't know who.
oh,
Oh, damn, that's crazy. I should see if my mom's over here. Oh, look at this shit.
what?
Nah, they got this like little. Uh, what's
I'm still like dissecting what happened to. So like, I woke up and all this shit with the group chat. I was distracted with that, but like I know that there was
that
because
shoot?
it's yeah, it's
Man,
transgender.
Dave
Remembrance.
Chappelle shit.
That's not what you said.
They trying to blame Dave Chappelle.
That's his name.
No, it's some white dude, but
I know I
Dave.
got this article and I haven't really read it yet. It's some dude named Joshua. I guess was there at the nightclub.
hmm But I guess the FBI and all that about him.
You said the FBI is a part of it.
No, they already, yeah, they knew about it. I guess there was a couple days before that, and they let him go.
Oh, wow. Like, I mean, if that's the case, they should have known that something could have popped off today. With being what today is, like that's not a coincidence.
Right? You know what's crazy? And I think that's what people were talking about. We warned y'all. We warned y'all. And I'm like, warned about what?
Right.
But now I get it because I didn't I didn't even understand the significance of what today was until I looked at the date, and it was because it was trending on Twitter
Hmm.
and shit. I was like, oh damn,
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't get no details or nothing like that. I mean, honestly, whenever I hear it's like a mass shooting, I don't get details. I just get location and like maybe small details. It's not my area of expertise, I guess I would say. That's
man,
all.
I wish that shit.
It's crazy though.
I like to even like with that like with the dude hanging. They found hanging and shit. It's how don't y'all come up with the rest of the story? Like come on. And then they want to just talk about suicide. Why is it always got to be suicide? Oh shit.
I just saw that video you sent me. Damn.
Right.
It's like the Wild West out there.
Yeah, for real. And that's what
It's
they be
always
doing.
something like
did you, bro? Did you hear her?
what?
Did you hear her?
What she say?
Cause that's what they
Damn,
be
they're coming
doing.
this way
That's what
too.
they be doing to the West.
Look, they're coming
I'm,
this way.
Yeah.
I'm done. That's crazy. I thought Philly was bad. Shit.
Oh, nigga, something always going on. Raggedy ass city. Damn,
That's
and they're gone too. That's we should follow that. It might be. I don't know. I haven't seen those shootings come up, but I don't know what I haven't been on StreamYard. Oh, yep, shooting.
I'm
That
done.
Damn,
funny as
that's
shit.
crazy as hell. As I just say that,
That's crazy.
you don't have my Twitter connected to your. Oh, you don't think so? Cause he got. I got one. I'm trying to. Uh,
How do I get like with it?
Minnesota crime. Go to Crime Watch
You know what?
Minneapolis.
You know what,
Yeah,
Mr. Herb
going
Conservative?
off.
You need to start doing your little crime watch thing on your page as well, so people get updates. Like just like Midwest updates, just like copy and paste them Jones. I don't know, but that would be really dope. Hold on, lose you. I'm gonna put some music on because I don't know. I'm just It's weird when it's just silence. I'll put something on. I don't know if y'all muted or what. Okay. I guess I'm gonna put a commercial on real quick. Why not? But you got something you want to talk about. I got this article I'm gonna read y'all. However, it is on the Leon Block's Facebook page. You can check it out there. Police are being removed from schools for sexual assault. Let me put this article up so you all can see it as well. Bad faith actors claim that school resource officers keep schools safe, but their survivors would likely claim otherwise. In 2014, Dothan, Alabama, police officer Lanice Bonds pleaded guilty to having sex with a 16-year-old student from Dothan High School, where he worked as an SRO for over 6 years. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. 3 years later, at the same school, another resource officer, Adrian Fulmar, was arrested for engaging in a sex act with a 17-year-old student. As investigations progressed, another victim was found, and this time she was 14 years old. Bonds and Fulmar appeared to be part of a wider pattern of SROs, which are school resource officers, being removed from their positions due to sexual misconduct. And in late 2021, an anonymous source reached out to DAME with data collected from local news reports. Within that data alone, which DAME fact-checked, at least 440 school children have been sexually abused by school police at their school in the last 20 years. After consulting experts in the field and assessing the accuracy of this small sample size, DAME concludes that incidents of police sexual misconduct in schools are likely underreported. This data reveals the abuses of power police are capable of in an educational setting, despite arguments that police make kids in schools safer by Republican elected officials like Senator Ted Cruz. While the reality of school shootings calls for action and new policy, current policies to place police in schools raise questions about accountability, access to victims, and power dynamics between children and state authorities. The numbers cited above indicate that there is widespread systemic abuse of power by police in schools, thus disputing the idea that police make children in schools safer. Both Bonds and Fomar were charged with the same Class B felony in Alabama, a school employee having sexual contact with a student under the age of 19 years old. In the case of Bonds, this charge was disputed with the claim that the offending resource officer was not a school employee. Rather, he was employed by the city of Dothan as a police officer and was paid by the city. According to court documents, Bonds presented a memo from the Dothan chief of police that states that resource officers are obliged to the chain of command by the Dothan Police Department and not to the administration of the school to which they are assigned. Though Bonds' appeal failed and he ultimately pleaded guilty, his defense demonstrates one of the problems with stationing police officers in schools. Though this varies state by state and county by county, SROs are generally accountable to the police station and the city they work for rather than the school. Andrea J. Ritchie, a police misconduct attorney and organizer whose writing, litigation, and advocacy have focused on the policing and criminalization of women of color, explains that this makes it difficult for police in schools to be held accountable for misconduct. She says, generally speaking, in my experience, school resource officers are under the control of the police department and not under the control of the school. In one case in New York City, the principal intervened in incidents involving the police and a student, and the principal got arrested. So it's really clear in those instances who's in charge. It's the cop in the police department, so they're accountable to nobody. The hiring of resource police officers in schools started in the 1950s, but the practice only became widespread in the 1990s. The presence of SROs in education establishments has widely been credited to the 1999 Columbine shooting, supported by the idea that officers in schools are able to protect students from an active shooter as school shootings became more commonplace. After school shootings, it is routine for Republican politicians to demand armed cops to be stationed in schools, claiming this will make children safer. However, according to a report by Learning for Justice, zero tolerance policy spurred SRO programs in schools in the 1980s in response to the perceived threat that school-based crime was on the rise. As a result, and with the context of the war on drugs gaining media space at the time, surveillance, metal detectors, and other security measures increased in public schools, paving the way for SRO programs. In 2017, police officers were present in at least half of schools nationwide. There isn't much research about police sexual misconduct in schools, but some scholars have tried to make sense of the issue. F. Chris Curran writes that SROs are rarely arrested, but when they are, it's usually because of sexual misconduct. According to 2017 research by Philip Stinson and Adam M. Watkins, using the 48 search terms developed by Stinson on Google News Alerts, there are 13 arrests of school resource officers between 2005 and 2011 for sexual misconduct. Over half, 56% of these incidents occurred with students in the officers' own schools. A study commissioned by the U.S. Department of Education revealed that out of more than 30,000 public schools that had police present during this period, there were fewer than 5 arrests on school resource officers per year for sexual misconduct. The Stinson and Watkins study also emphasizes that police officers tend to not arrest other officers, often ignoring minor transgressions by their colleagues, whereas regular citizens doing similar transgressions would be arrested for their crimes. The data obtained by DAME suggests that the number of sexual misconduct by SROs cases is much greater. Ritchie says data like this is likely to just be the tip of the iceberg. And according to the author and researcher who has written a book about police violence against Black girls and trans folk, we are only able to access around 25% of police sexual misconduct cases in schools because of a gap in research around gender-based violence experienced by Black, brown, indigenous, queer, and trans young people. 3/4 of rapes aren't reported. Imagine 3/4 of rapes aren't reported. Imagine how much higher that number is when the person that sexually assaulted you is the person you're supposed to report it to. Richie said, I want to emphasize just how routine and mundane this is. Since 1975, the number of police in schools has risen from 1% to 48%. According to a 2021 study by the American Civil Liberties Union of Washington, this rise is largely connected to the increase in school shootings in the last 3 decades. And nationally, the federal government has invested more than $1 billion to subsidize the placement of police in schools, resulting in more than 46,000 SROs patrolling hallways, according to the same study. Despite federal efforts to make schools safer, the evidence shows that SROs stop school shootings is scarce, but research shows that an increase in arrests in schools is directly correlated to the presence of SROs. The arrest rates for schools with SROs were 3.5 times higher the rate of those without. That's a no-brainer. And in some states, the arrest rates are as much as 8 times the rate of schools without, which fuels, as advocates say, the school-to-prison pipeline. I've been sitting here reading an article that we posted to the Leon Block Independent Media Facebook page. Research on sexual violence perpetrated by SROs is even more scarce, and Richie suggests that this is because most of the victims are likely to be girls of color.
Always people of color.
There's just not that much attention to sexual violence that young people are experiencing, Richie said, particularly if they're Black, brown, and indigenous. And then again, police sexual violence is not something that people want to think about if they are thinking about cops as the way to make schools safer.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, because it's, in Minnesota, they're trying to get it where if police officers have any ties to extremist groups, that would not allow them to be police officers. That would bar them from being police. And these motherfuckers still want that to be on there. That's crazy. Like, they just, because it's something about their going against their civil liberty. So it's just okay to be with a white supremacist group and be a police officer. So that's what we're doing now.
It's against their civil liberties, but not ours.
Right.
Make that make sense, America. This shit blows my mind.
Well, I mean, even with
I feel kind of lucky to grow up at school when I did in the 90s. Like, I didn't have to deal with any of this shit. I was at the tail end, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just, I can't imagine what it'd be like to go to school now, like public school, and deal with this. Looks like we lost Chaz, but I'm gonna finish this article for y'all. In Dothan High School, where 2 SROs were removed from their positions for sexual misconduct in 2014 and 2018, another pattern can be observed with, while removal of officers is possible, there isn't a system or a reporting of mechanism that prevents new SROs from committing new cases of sexual misconduct.
For Richie, after 20 years of advocacy against police violence against women and girls, the only solution is to take cops out of schools. The only way to even stop police violence is to get cops out of a situation or take their power away, he says. Policing has no place in the school or in a learning environment where it's a space to cherish and support young people, a place for exploring, growth, learning, creativity, and learning to be in relationship with each other in a healthy, safe, and transformative way. Yeah. I'm going to leave y'all with that. Be well.